Hi, I'm Mark, Managing Director of Primal, and today we're going to be talking about how to hire the best digital marketing agency for you. Last week we touched upon when you definitely don't need an agency for your brand. So this week is about what type of things to look for and ask in order to identify the best agency for you. So despite the agencies and people advertising on the first page of Google about how they're the #1 digital marketing agency, there is actually no best digital marketing agency, but rather the best digital agency for your brand or business. So what are the type of things you would need to identify in order to have a look at what's the best fit for you? So a lot of these are based on situational context, and the 4 key points to look at whether you need to identify the right digital marketing agency for you would be, do you need a digital marketing agency based on some of the things we talked about in the last video? Does your team have the capacity in place to be working with one? And how does your budget look for investment for digital marketing? And what are the goals that you have in place? How do we go about finding the best fit for the brand and your business? First, want to have a look at the agency's ability to communicate with you. You want to be communicating very often and frequently as you would with an internal marketing team. So this is a key thing in very many successful agency and brand type relationships. You also want the agency to be accountable for the metrics that you care about for the brand. So whether it be at a campaign level, looking at how many people are recalling the brand through an awareness campaign, or how many sales the agency and ROI is actually driving for the brand and the business. And you also want to have a look at their approach and strategy, taking into account your brand and your business needs and what their strategy is to help you accomplish those goals. So if you haven't hired an agency before, it definitely can be quite a tough learning experience, because you want to be able to identify the best fit from the outset so you're not wasting any investment and time. So some of the key things that make it tough is because you need the agency to be able to understand your business needs. Your business and brand is unique. The agency also needs to understand the way that you're set up, how they can get access to certain data and whether that's allowed, how you guys operate and what your change management process looks like internally, and what key skills your team members possess that can help complement the agency and vice versa. Never should one choose an agency simply because they're the cheapest. You always get what you pay for. So the value in today's video, we're going to be talking about the type of questions you can ask to identify whether the agency is the best fit for your brand or business. So the type of questions that you as a marketer within a brand or a marketer within a business, or if you're running your own business, some of the questions you can ask when considering an agency are, do you have experience working with businesses like ours? So some questions you can ask when considering an agency, if they're right or the best fit for your business or brand. You could start with, do you have experience working with businesses like ours? So the agency needs to be able to fit with your business model and the type of customers that you have. So they may have already had prior experience in working with your particular industry. Therefore, they're very well versed in what to do and may have processes and certain targeting abilities and data that would enable them to help you achieve results very fast. Another question you could ask is, what does the beginning of the engagement with the agency look like? So you can start to get to see, what the onboarding process looks like and what is needed to make sure that the agency and the brand are together onboarded very quickly and efficiently, and everyone knows exactly what they're accountable for and what to do over the given timeline. You also could look at or ask, what are the milestones for a campaign or project like ours? If it's quite a large one, or perhaps it's very long term. And the reason why you want to ask that is because you want to be able to identify whether the agency has these already in place. So this could take the form of monthly meetings, fortnightly calls, quarterly catch-ups, annual reviews, and this will help you identify which agencies have already thought about these in order to make sure that you guys are communicating, to make sure that results and things are getting done. Another question you could ask is, what kind of marketing challenges has the agency faced before in regards to the industry? So obviously, much like when hiring a person, you can always ask them, what kind of problems they faced in regards to the role or the things that they've done in the past. And the people or the agencies who have faced a problem before within a particular challenge, the ones who have actually done it can actually go into extreme detail about what challenge they faced and how they went about to improve it or fix it completely. Another question you could ask is, what access do you need to our data before pitching our project? So good agencies will always want access to your data. This could take the form of Google Analytics access. It could take the form of your Facebook Business Manager access, whatever access to whichever tools that your business uses in regards to digital marketing, so that they can actually analyze the data and form their approach and strategy to actually help your business out. So one of the key challenges here in Thailand is a lot of organizations, I'd say about 50% so far, still don't allow access to third parties. Now this becomes extremely challenging for digital marketing agencies simply because we rely on data or the business data in order to make very informed decisions about how to effectively spend marketing investment. So if you're actually able to hand out data through the process of an NDA and just ensuring that the data is secure, this will greatly help the strategy and approach when putting that together. So another question you could ask as well is, what kind of guarantees do you offer? And the reason why you want to ask this is because you can actually check to see if the marketing agency actually offers guarantees. And if you're in marketing or you're in digital marketing and you know yourself that marketing is never guaranteed, never. It's the dynamics of how marketing works, and consumers and external influences can change the course of any sort of KPI or guarantee that you set out. So it's really about the agency understanding that, marketing is extremely dynamic and changing, and that if they do offer guarantees, you probably know that they're either trying to sell you or get you to sign a contract, as opposed to helping or educate you or helping you to understand why guarantees are simply not possible. But you can certainly set milestones or KPIs, or have a look at past historic campaigns as to how things improved over time and what the expectations could look like in a 3, 6 to 12 month time frame. Another question you could ask as well is, what are the metrics you recommend we use to define success? So that will tell you that whether one, the agency has past experience in your industry, because then they'll let you know what kind of metrics actually really matter. And also if they actually understand the metrics that they need to deliver on in relation to, what they recommend and what their approach is. So it's important to understand, what their understanding is as well of, what the metrics you could potentially care about. And in case you don't know of any metrics that maybe you weren't exposed to beforehand, they could let you know that as well. Next, as a brand or marketing team in a company, you want to then start to ask questions about what it's like to work with the agency. Much like you would do at an interview process. What is their work style? How do they operate? How do they think? Do their values fall in line with what you care about? So some really good questions to ask here are, one, who will be the point of contact? There should be key people or one key person taking lead on the communication. Usually you'll be assigned an account manager or a client lead for your particular campaign or project. Next, you can start to ask about, what happens, if things are not going that well after 3 months of running a particular campaign, because then you'll start to get insights on how the agency deals with mediation. So what does the agency do if results are not being achieved? This is simply just to get better insight on, if there is a bit of a crisis or, the agency is falling behind, what you guys can do together to make sure that you guys are back on track and that the marketing campaigns are successful. Next, you want to have a look at, the billing, how often the agency is going to bill you, just to make sure that there are no surprises when it comes to the financing of the marketing campaigns, who the agency needs to be contacting in case there are, any billing issues. As agencies, we do work with partners, obviously as an agency, whereby they have financial commitments. For example, spending advertising baht or dollars within Google and Facebook, and just get an understanding of how the entire process works so that the billing cycles are aligned to ensure continuity in the marketing campaigns and there's no shortage of budget or funds. Another question you could potentially ask here as well is, how often does the agency raise their prices? And it's just good to know how the agency handles this so that they can help to manage expectations. As an agency, I can tell you ourselves, our pricing has changed from our first year in business dramatically in our second year of business, and will most likely change again in our third year of business. So just to avoid any surprises on, let's say, the brand side, it's good to get an understanding of, how the agency actually plans to handle this, and what sort of charges look like as well when things go out of scope, just so that you have the right expectations together. And another really good question as well is you can ask, how long the agency can expect before results start to be achieved. So this also starts to tie into their experience within that particular channel or within the industry that they work in as well. So these are all really good questions, hopefully as a brand marketer, to help you identify which agencies are the best fit for you. What we find as well is that, agency and brand relationships tend to fail when there's a misalignment in expectations. So it's really, really good to lay this all out in the either the onboarding or even the pre-pitch stage, just to really ensure that there are no surprises and everyone's expectations are aligned from a relationship context, just to make sure that both of the focuses for both agency or brand are simply on generating the right result for the campaigns. So hopefully I've helped to answer things to help you identify how to hire the best agency for your brand or business or particular project. Thank you.